be asked to evaluate a class of soybean seed, and they're going to look for problems in each one of the seeds, and they're going to be numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and they will place them just like they would a livestock class. In our first sample, one of the things that we're going to see is there are some rocks in there. And these little rocks would go under the category of inert material, and they will deduct 5 points. The other thing we'd see is there are cracked seeds in here. And if you look at cracked and seed injury on the score sheet, that's a minus 10-point deduction. So they have 15 points of deduction, so that sample would score an 85. Now our second sample, we're going to have, the first thing that sticks out is we're going to have some corn in there, so that's going to be other crop seed, and that's going to be a deduction of 25 points. And then there will be diseased or stained seed. If you look, for example, at this one, we can see it's got a stained seed coat, and that is going to be a 5-point deduction. So 30 points from 100, that sample will score 70. In our third sample, we're going to have some weed seed present, and the students are going to have to know if that's common weed seed, secondary noxious, or primary noxious. In this case, it's common weed seed with a 10-point deduction. And the other thing that we're going to see is other varieties. We have a soybean variety that has black seeds, and other varieties are a 25-point deduction. So that one loses 35 points and would end up with a score of 65. Sample 4, first thing that sticks out is the cockleburs, and cockleburs are secondary noxious, so that's going to be a 25-point deduction. And then we're going to look close, and we can see some other weed seeds in here, and we have to know that that particular weed is a primary noxious weed, and that's a 40-point deduction. So in that sample, we're going to lose 65 points, so the sample will have a score of 35. After we've scored them, taken the deductions for each sample, then we're going to rank them according from highest to lowest. Sample number 1 had an 85 score. That's going to be our top sample, or be number 1. Sample number 2 had a 30-point deduction, or a score of 70. That's the number 2. Number 3 scored a 65. That will be our number 3. And sample number 4 had a 35 score. That is going to be an easy bottom. And we cut these 3, 3, and 8. So we figured with the 2 weed seeds, a common or a secondary and a primary noxious, that was a definite bottom. So we cut that, made that an 8-point cut.